The Red Sea, huh? I mean, for ages it's been this crucial shipping route, right? Pretty peaceful, connecting east and west. But lately, things have gotten a bit dicey, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, since late 2023, the Houthi rebels in Yemen, they've really upped the ante. And that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, and at first, it seemed like they were mainly focused on ships.
Yeah.
Maybe connected to Israel, but things have spiraled, haven't they? Now it seems like any commercial ship, any nation, is fair game. Even U.S. Navy ships aren't off limits.
Exactly. And it's not just the scope that's expanded, it's the variety of their arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I find particularly unnerving. Reading through these reports, it's not like they've got this one signature attack. It's everything, isn't it? Drones, those cheap ones, they swarm you, cruise missiles, barely above the radar.
Right, and don't forget that anti-ship ballistic missiles, those pack a much bigger punch. Oh, and the suicide boats. Can't leave those out. Unmanned, loaded with explosive. That's a nasty surprise for anyone.
So it's like a multi-layered nightmare, isn't it? No single defense really covers it all. And that brings us to Operation Prosperity Guardian. It sounds impressive, this big international effort to beef up security. We've heard a lot about Aegis destroyers, haven't we? They seem to be leading the charge, those high-tech ships, always on the lookout, intercepting threats left and right.
Well, the Aegis system, it is impressive, no doubt. Think of it as a super sophisticated radar and weapon control system all rolled into one. It can track and engage multiple targets simultaneously, very effective.
Yeah.
But there's a catch, or should I say a cost.
Oh, and this is what I was getting at. It sounds good on paper, but...
But you're using like million-dollar missiles to take down drones that cost, what, a few thousand? That's not a sustainable equation, is it? Not financially and strategically. I mean, are we encouraging them to just throw more cheap drones at us until we run out of expensive missiles?
Right, like war of attrition, except one size wallet is a lot thinner. And forget the money, the pressure on those crews, 247 vigilance against this constant barrage.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge strain. And, it doesn't seem to be deterring the Houthis. If anything, our reports suggest they're learning, adapting. There are even whispers of new, improved weapons.
So we're in this constant game of catch-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just reacting to what they're doing now, but trying to anticipate the next move, the next tech. Because, let's be honest, it's not just ships at stake. It's global trade. It's oil prices. It's the safety of everyone in the region.
Exactly. And that brings us to the real heart of our deep dive today. How effective are U.S. defenses against these asymmetric tactics, really? And here's the thing. Were we caught completely off guard? The sources we've been digging into suggest maybe not. It seems the U.S. military's been using the Red Sea as a testing ground, a proving ground, for a while now.
Okay, this is where things get really fascinating. So it wasn't just random that they were there. They were actually preparing for something like this. Like, what specifically?
Well, take the X-47B drone program, for example. Not your average drone, mind you.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about this. The stealth drone. But it wasn't just about being invisible to radar, was it?
Right. It was a UCAV unmanned combat aerial system. And the big deal was it could take off from and land on an aircraft carrier, all by itself. You know how hard that is for human pilots?
Oh, yeah, landing on a moving carrier deck in rough seas. It was basically an aerial ballet, right? And this thing did it autonomously? That's insane.
It is. And the AI on board, it wasn't just remote control. It was making decisions in flight, adapting to changing situations. And why test it in the Red Sea? Think about it. Challenging weather, confined airspace, need for pinpoint accuracy.
It's like they deliberately chose the toughest environment they could find to really push the tech to its limits, stress tested under pressure. So what did they learn? What did the X-47B prove?
Well, persistent operation. It could stay up there for long stretches, constant surveillance. It minimized risk to pilots. And crucial for today, the stealth, it could operate in defended airspace. That's a big deal with the Houthi threat evolving as it is.
It's like they knew this kind of conflict was coming, where you need eyes in the sky, but can't risk a pilot getting shot down. They were thinking ahead. But hold on. The X-47B wasn't the only advanced toy they were playing with in the Red Sea, was it? What was it? Upgraded FA-18 Hornets.
Yeah, you're right. The Super Hornets got a serious makeover, not just a paint job. We're talking next-gen radar, AI-assisted targeting, all while keeping that speed and maneuverability. Those things are crucial, both for dogfights and, well, not becoming a target yourself.
So why the Red Sea again? I mean, I'm guessing it wasn't just for the sunshine and the snorkeling?
Oh, definitely not. It's a tough environment, that's the point. High temps, strong winds, unique air currents, land and sea interacting. It's a perfect real-world test for carrier ops. You got to be sure your systems, your pilots can handle it. They were testing that new radar, how well it could pick out small, fast targets against all that clutter.
Like picking out a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is moving and the needle's trying to blow you up. And they were fine-tuning the AI too, weren't they?
Right, seeing how it could help pilots make faster, better decisions under pressure, keep that plane flying, keep those weapons on target, all in that crazy environment.
So we've got these two programs years back. The stealthy autonomous X-47, the souped-up Super Hornet, both tested in the exact spot where this Houthi crisis is playing out. It paints a picture, doesn't it? Like the U.S. military was playing chess, thinking several moves ahead, investing in speed, autonomy, AI.
And how to make all those separate pieces work together, that's crucial. It's not just about individual systems, it's about integration, a network.
Okay, so that was then, this is now. The big question is, are those investments paying off? How are these technologies being used against the Houthis today?
Well, let's take the X-47B. You might not see it flying over Yemen, but the core concept, that's still very relevant. Persistent ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance in a contested environment.
You're saying the need for eyes in the sky, that hasn't gone away?
Right, especially against these guys, the Houthis. They're mobile, they hide their launchers in tough terrain, you need constant surveillance to track them. And we've got Reapers, the MQ-9s, they're doing a lot of that work, but they're vulnerable. We've seen reports of them getting shot down.
Hence the need for something stealthier, more autonomous, more like the X-47B, right? So even if that specific drone isn't in the fight, the lessons learned are being applied.
Right. The tech, the operational knowledge, that's all feeding into the next generation of unmanned systems. And it's not just about combat. Look at the MQ-25 Stingray, that's the unmanned tanker, refueling other planes in flight, extending their range. That's directly from the X-47B program. More range equals more time on station, more flexibility. It all adds up.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about those Super Hornets, the ones getting the upgrades? They're actively flying missions now, interceptions, strikes. Are these the same upgraded versions, the ones tested in the Red Sea?
I'd say it's highly likely. And those advanced radar systems, they're proving trying to spot a small, fast drone or missile against the sea. All the other traffic, it's like finding a
needle in a haystack. Yeah, we've established that.
Right. But that's what these radar systems are designed to do. And the AI is helping too. Processing all that data, helping the pilot focus on what's important, making those split-second decisions, reducing their workload.
So it's like having a co-pilot in the computer, helping sort through the chaos. But here's the thing. It's not just about individual planes, is it? Our sources kept hammering on this. Integration, everything connected. How's that working in the Red Sea?
That's the real force multiplier, the network. Imagine it. Aegis ships feeding radar data, E-2 Hawkeyes in the air, giving the big picture, F-18 sending targeting info, drones streaming video. It all comes together. And that's where AI comes in again, not just in the cockpit, but at the command level, sorting through that massive flow of information, spotting patterns, predicting threats.
So it's like the AI is playing chess on a multi-dimensional board, moving pieces, anticipating the opponent. And that's what they mean by a battlefield laboratory. The Red Sea, it's where all these concepts are being tested in real life, right?
Exactly. Daily events providing real-time data, lessons learned. The X-47B, the upgraded Hornets, they weren't just theoretical exercises. They were laying the groundwork for this very fight. Autonomy, AI, sensors, networking, it's all being put to the test against an enemy using asymmetric tactics, adapting, innovating.
But it's not all smooth sailing, is it? There are challenges. We talked about the cost issue. Expensive missiles for cheap drones. And what about those swarm attacks just overwhelming you with numbers?
Oh, those are serious concerns. Even the best systems have limits. And if they get flooded with targets, well, no system is perfect. And the cost disparity, it's not just about dollars and cents. It's a strategic issue. Are we playing into their hands by reacting this way?
And let's not forget the human element. All this tech, but it's sailors, pilots, technicians making it work under immense pressure day after day.
Absolutely. They're the ones making the split-second calls, keeping everything running. Their skill, their endurance, that's the real heart of it all. And, it's a safe bet our adversaries are watching, learning. They'll adapt. They'll find ways to exploit any weakness they see. That's the nature of this game.
So we've got to stay ahead, technologically, strategically. The stakes are too high, global trade, freedom of navigation, international stability. That's a lot riding on this, isn't it?
It is. The Red Sea crisis, it's a wake-up call. 21st century conflict, it's messy, it's unpredictable. Tech is vital, but it's not enough. You need the right strategy, the right integration, and you've got to be able to adapt fast.
Okay, let's take a look at a specific scenario, a kind of what-if situation that's been making the rounds. It plays out in early 2025, and it really highlights just how high the stakes are in the Red Sea. I mean, it's been called the lifeblood of the world, hasn't it? That's not hyperbole.
No, not at all. You think about the oil flow, the global trade passing through there. Any disruption is a huge deal. And in this scenario, well, things get pretty dramatic.
Yeah, so the setup is this. The Houthis, they go for a major escalation, a direct attack on the USS Harry S. Truman. I mean, it's a U.S. aircraft carrier, a symbol of American power. It's like poking the bear with a really sharp stick.
It's a huge escalation, crossing a line. You hit a carrier. You're not just messing with a ship. You're messing with national pride, with a whole lot of firepower. And on top of that, they boast about shooting down another MQ-9 Reaper drone, American-made, of course.
Which, even if they're exaggerating, it's a propaganda win for them, right? It shows they're willing to take on the big dog, even if they get swatted down. And then, boom, President Trump enters the chat, so to speak, announces a day of retribution, full-on Old Testament vibes.
Not exactly subtle. And he orders the USS Carl Vinson, another carrier, to join the Truman. That's a statement right there. 2 carrier strike groups in the Red Sea. That's a show of force, no doubt about it.
And Trump's tweets, I mean, they don't help, do they? Talking about crushing the Houthis, threatening Iran. It's all very well Trumpian. And of course, Iran doesn't back down. They issue counter threats, talking about hitting Diego Garcia, and even scarier, closing the Strait of Hormuz.
That's the big one, isn't it? Hormuz, that's the choke point for so much of the world's oil. You close that, the global economy goes into free fall. It's the ultimate leverage point. And suddenly you've got these two sides, both digging in, both escalating. It's a tinderbox.
So let's jump to the action. January 6th, 2025, the Houthi attack. It's described like something out of a movie. Alarms blaring, radar picking up multiple threats, closing in fast on the Truman.
And it's a well-planned attack, too. They're using a mix of weapons. The C-802 anti-ship missile, that's a nasty one, skims the sea, hard to detect. And then the Shahed 136 drones, the suicide ones, they're targeting the E-2 Hawkeye.
The Hawkeye, that's the airborne early warning plane, right? Take that out, you blind the carrier.
Exactly, a smart move. But thankfully, the U.S. Navy isn't caught napping. The Aegis system, it's on the USS Gravely, that's one of the escort ships, picks up the threats. F-18s scramble from the Truman, intercept the drones, and the Gravely, it fires an SM-2 missile, takes out the C-802.
So they repel the attack, but the Houthis still claim they got another Reaper drone.
Right, another propaganda victory for them. And it shows, even with all the fancy tech, there are still vulnerabilities. And for the crew on the Truman, it's got to be a wake-up call, right? Things just got real.
Yeah, they realize this isn't just some distant conflict anymore.
Yeah.
And the U.S. response, well, it's a full-on show of force. The Carl Vinson arrives. Now you've got 2 carrier strike groups, plus the escort fleet. Destroyers, cruisers, the whole shebang. And they've moved 6 B-2 Spirit bombers to Diego Garcia. Those are the big stealth bombers, right? Talk about a message.
Yeah, it's a statement. 2 carriers, a full escort fleet, the USS Gettysburg, the USS Stout, USS Jason Dunham, the USS Sullivan, plus 6 B-2s. That's not messing around. And those B-2s, they can reach Tehran if needed. And they carry those massive bunker-busting bombs. Just saying.
Subtlety isn't really the name of the game here, is it? And this whole thing plays out against a backdrop of Trump's tweets, furious, demanding action. And the Pentagon is reporting, nonstop bombing of Houthi targets. But it makes you wonder, they're using $1,000,000 missiles, $1,000 bombs against drones that cost, what was it, 20 grand?
Yeah, the cost disparity is crazy. And it's not just the immediate cost, it's the long-term question. Can you sustain that kind of expenditure? What happens if they just flood you with cheap drones? But back to the story, Iran, they're not hiding anymore. They're issuing direct threats. A General Haji Saad, I think it was, talking about Diego Garcia being in range, about closing Hormuz.
So it's a proxy war, but now the puppet master's stepping out into the light. And the Houthis, they put out a statement too, defiant, but you got to figure Iran wrote most of it.
Yeah, probably. And meanwhile, you've got Russia watching all this, quiet but interested. And the EU, they're sending ships too, talking about protecting freedom of navigation. It's a whole global chessboard now.
And to make things even more tense, there are reports of Iran ramping up their nuclear program, enriching more uranium. And their rhetoric, the death to America stuff, that's not exactly calming things down.
No, not at all. It's a powder keg. And the U.S., They might scoff at those Shahed drones hitting Diego Garcia, but I bet they're not taking any chances. And Iran, they're playing a dangerous game using the Houthis as pawns.
So January 8th, 2025, the U.S. counterattack in Yemen. It's a massive operation. Satellites, Reapers, RC-135s listening in. Everything they've got is focused on those Houthi targets. And then the Tomahawks start flying, 12 of them, from the Gravely and the Stout, followed by F-18s with those JDAM bombs.
A coordinated attack, overwhelming force. And the reports, they're saying Houthi bunkers are gone, munitions depots wiped out. Trump tweets, mission accomplished, basically, claims the Houthis are crushed.
And the Houthis, they put out a weak response, but they're still talking about fighting back. But it's clear their ability to attack, it's been seriously degraded. Iran, they're quiet now, just watching.
Watching and learning, no doubt. And that image, the Truman and the Carl Vinson side by side, smoke rising over Yemen, that's a powerful image, isn't it? American might, victory, but it's a Pyrrhic victory in a way.
How so?
The Houthis, they proved a point. They showed that even a small, relatively weak force can inflict damage, can force a superpower to spend a fortune just to swat them down. It's that sledgehammer versus fly analogy. It raises a question. How long can we sustain this?
And the Houthis, they might be down, but they're not out.
Yeah.
And then there's Iran looming in the background. That's the real worry, isn't it? The nuclear program, the threats to Hormuz.
Right. The Strait of Hormuz, that's the trump card. They close that, the global economy tanks. And Diego Garcia, even if the U.S. says those drones can't reach it, well, Iran might be willing to gamble. And Russia, they're still watching. The EU, they're getting more involved. It's a mess.
So the day of retribution, it might be over in Yemen, but the story's far from finished. The Houthis are weakened, but still there. Iran is the real wild card. And the whole world holding its breath, wondering what happens next. It's like we're on the edge of a cliff and nobody knows who's going to jump first.
The Red Sea, it's a microcosm of the world today, isn't it? A place where all the tensions, the rivalries, the fears, they all come together. And the question is, can we navigate these treacherous waters without things boiling over? That's something for all of us to think about.